A man who spent 15 years on death row before he was exonerated in 2012 has died of COVID-19, according to the Innocence Project in an online obituary. "The world lost the infectious smile and joy of Damon Thibodeau," said the obituary published by the Times-Picayune this month. He died in Jacksonville, Florida, on August 31, less than 10 years after his release, the obit said. He was 47. In a tweet, the Innocence Project said Thibodeau was an incredibly kind and gentle person. Thibodeau was 22 and working as a deckhand in Louisiana in 1996 when his step-cousin Crystal Champagne was strangled to death, according to the Innocence Project. Her body was discovered with a red extension cord wrapped around her neck in evidence of a possible sexual assault. Thibodeau was considered a suspect because of his familial relationship to Champagne, but he denied involvement in her death and agreed to a polygraph, which I was told he had failed. He ended up confessing to consensual and non-consensual sex with the victim and then to beating and murdering her during a 9-hour interrogation, of which less than an hour was recorded, the Innocence Project said. "I didn't know that I had done it, but I done it," he said in the confession, according to his obituary.
Even though some of the details in Thibodeau's confession were inconsistent with evidence, he was convicted and sentenced to death row in Louisiana.
In 2007, the Jefferson Parish District Attorney's Office started re-investigating the case with the Innocence Project. The investigation found that DNA from the scene matched male DNA that was not Thibodeau's. Witnesses who said they saw Thibodeau at the crime scene told investigators that they had seen his photo in the news before identifying him and that they had in fact thought they spotted him at the scene the day after Champagne's body was found, when Thibodeau was already in custody. Meanwhile, the prosecution's own expert had concluded prior to the original trial that Thibodeau falsely confessed based on fear of the death penalty, but this information was never shared with the defense, according to the Innocence Project. The Innocence Project mourns the loss of Damon Thibodeau, an incredibly kind and gentle person, who spent 16 years wrongly imprisoned in Louisiana. He was the 142nd person exonerated from death row and was never compensated for his lost freedom. https://t.co/wxxbqjlgsv. The Innocence Project, at Innocence, September 9, 2021. Thibodeau's conviction and death sentence were eventually overturned in 2012, after he had spent 15 years on death row and 16 years behind bars. He was the 300th person exonerated through DNA evidence. After his release, Thibodeau moved to Minnesota, earned his high school diploma, became a long-haul trucker and started giving talks around the country
about wrongful conviction reform.
His story was featured in the 2017 documentary The Penalty. After his release, Thibodeau suffered nightmares that returned him to the harrowing experience of his solitary confinement in a small single cell and the crushing despair, loneliness, and hopelessness, according to his obituary. But Damon was a spiritual person whose belief in God helped him survive his. Despite what had happened to him, Damon continued to look forward, reforging relationships with his family, and gathering about him many friends, who considered him family, it said. In a 2013 interview with NBC affiliate Care of Minneapolis, Thibodeau said, "The best part of my day, no matter how good the rest of my day is when I wake up every morning and I don't see those bars. You can't go through something like this and not be angry," he conceded. "It's what you do with it that defines you." Thibodeau is survived by his mother, Cynthia Thibodeau, 2 sisters, Vicky Chauvin and Alice Hansen, a brother, David Thibodeau, a son, Joshua Thibodeau, and Thibodeau was never compensated for his wrongful conviction. A claim for compensation was pending at the time of his death.